This is going to be everything that changed in the December patch that we just got for Naruto 5e in under 10 minutes. Let's go. So the standard array for character creation and point buy system have been changed. The new standard array is 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, changed from the original 15, 14, 13, 12, 10, 8. Also, the point buy system is going all the way up to 30 now to compensate for standard array also having more. As for equipment, blood pills have been changed so the math is a little less annoying. Chakra pills have compensated since there's a limit to how many you can take per long rest, and the military ration pills have also been balanced out to be a good middle ground between the two. Going into ability scores, every single class is now going to have 3 proficient saving throws instead of the original 2, and your ability scores that you're not proficient in are going to get half of your proficiency added to them. In the adventuring and mission sections, as for weapon enhancement seals, there's been a whole system change. You'll have to look into that. Toolkits, the main downtime cost got changed, but also the payout cost lowered a little bit in return. And as for training, it's about 20% less time to train things like feats, but elite intellect changed in order to compensate. In the combat section, clashing got changed, and it's a lot more punishing to lose your clashes now, so be careful. Exhaustion no longer has a chart that you follow, but rather just does a bunch of stuff and goes up to 10 ranks. At the 11th rank, you die, and Petrified got moved to the dying section rather than an elemental condition. Now, there's 3 total stances that got changed. One is going to be the Dragon Fist, and the bonus action effect is no longer going to give you a d6 and does not stack with itself. As for the Rabbit Fist, unarmed damage when using the bonus action cannot exceed the stance's base d4, so you can't amp it to ridiculous numbers. And Serpent Fist no longer has a stacking penalty, and the penalty is a flat d4. Now, there's a ton of feat changes here, so bear with me. In your general feats, Enhanced Attack does not exist anymore. He couldn't balance it. Inspiring Presence does not provide a bonus to saving throws. Lightly Armored has removed the bonus to saving throws. Resilient cannot be taken more than 1 time. And Quick-Witted, the ability to actually change the saving throw score, has been changed to twice per long rest from the original proficiency bonus. Now, every single skill feat pretty much got changed. If you already have proficiency, it's going to now provide expertise, or it's going to give you a specific skill action that you can use as a bonus action. All the elite skills have now been removed for their proficiency in saving throws. Elite agility now has removed the bonus to hit. Chakra intensity is completely new. Herbalist has more healing. Practice expert only affects toolkits. Force of personality has been removed. Need a little too much sauce. Prisoner, the DC reduction has changed to equal your ninjutsu ability modifier as opposed to what it was previously. For Chakra feats, Chakra Pressure has now been split into 2 different feats because it was a little too powerful on its own. Medical Release Combat has now removed the 2 out of 3 rule and lets you get all 3. As for Ninjutsu feats, really simply, every single clone feat has been changed, altered, removed, added in some form or fashion because of the recent clone change that came in the last patch. For Taijutsu feats, Empower Taijutsu has removed the confusing 3rd bullet, Light Step Mastery has removed the saving throw bonus, Frog Fist Expert, the bonus action ability was removed and can now be done in place of unarmed attacks, Lion Fist Expert, the saving throw bonus is capped at +2, so you can't stack it ridiculously, Serpent Fist Expert, the penalty was changed to a d4, again does not stack ridiculously, and the Wolf Fist Expert removed their limit on base action ability. Now we're going to get into Orochimaru's Compendium, also known as the classes, and for this one I'm going to be even less specific than the last because there's a lot to go over and I'm trying to keep it short and quick for you. Starting off with your Genjutsu Specialist, they're changed, alright? There's not more to get into it. There was a whole class rework and redesign, so if you're playing a Genjutsu Specialist and your table likes to move to the new book, just know you're basically playing a new class with tons of new features. Hunter-Nin overall didn't get changed that much, a few balance changes to help with die stacking and things like that are a problem that they're trying to fix, but besides that, still pretty much the same class you were playing. Intelligence Operative is in the same exact boat that the Genjutsu Specialist is. It's a huge class redesign and rework, so if you were playing one before and y'all like to use updated books, you're playing a new character. Lots of new stuff, lots of new toys, lots of new features. Medical-Nin stays relatively the same, with a few limitations removed on certain things and certain abilities, and just overall a pass to make jutsus a little easier to understand and use in your sessions. Ninjutsu Specialist as a whole didn't get changed, but some of its subclasses had a few things removed for balance purposes, but then got replaced with something to compensate for that. So don't worry about losing too much power as a Ninjutsu Specialist, you just get a few different things to work with now. Scout-Nin, similarly to the Ninjutsu Specialist, didn't have its class core changed, but rather a lot of its subclasses altered, so if you do like to use updated books and you're playing a Scout-Nin, I would just look for your specific subclass and see what changed, because a few things got added, removed, and altered to, hey, help balance the game. Taijutsu Specialist, y'all got the same treatment that the Genjutsu Specialist and Intelligence Operatives did, in that you kind of have a new class. Tons of reworks, tons of redesigns. If you're playing it and using the books, you're going to want to dig into this one, because there's a lot of changes. Weapon Specialist, it's the same thing for y'all, and all of your weapon forms and flurry techniques actually also got changed to not have chakra costs anymore. So hey, that's fun. But again, big redesign, big rework. If you're a Weapon Specialist, you're going to want to dig through that one. Puppet-Nin, funnily enough, is actually the least changed class out of everything. The Soul Crafter subclass has been moved to legacy content. They want to try to add this in somehow, some way, but it just wasn't fitting well with a lot of the stuff, so they decided to just go ahead and move it into a different section and kind of pretend it doesn't exist, but it's still there if you really want it. And now to a fan favorite, the Cooking-Nin class. And yes, this one is a little goofy, but Have a Nice Day Please, who is actually in our Discord, is the official creator, founder of the class, and he is doing a whole rework, redesign, overwork of the class. If you want to check it out, you're going to have a link to that specific book. It's so large that they're not actually going to put it into the regular book because it would be such an overhaul. But hey, if you like the class, give him a shout out. Last but not least, as for Science-Nin, they actually got a bunch of new toys to play with and a few little tweaks, but overall the class isn't changing too drastically, just a few fun things to use. So real quick, this is a post-edit Blzane here. I know no headphones, how dare I, but basically I kind of reread the clan section and didn't understand that every single clan got hit. Literally everyone. Because of the saving throw changes and things like that, every single clan had some small balance patch changes. Some more than others, like Kuru clan had a lot of things changed and stuff like that. But if you're using the new book, no matter what clan you are, something will be changed or altered, at least in a little way. As for jutsus, this is the last section of the video, so I'm going to try to get through it quick, but I will not be listing every single jutsu got changed, because there is a lot, and I mean a lot. There is some for every single elemental release, including non-elemental, and some stuff for every single rank. So, if you're trying to make sure your jutsu didn't get changed, I would run through the patch notes because it'll tell you exactly what happened to each jutsu. And this even includes genjutsus, this includes summons, this includes buki jutsus. So just check it out. It's a huge list. It's just a lot, okay? Now, the last couple things I want to mention here are, one, Bloodline Latent got a little bit of a few changes, nothing too crazy, but again, they're trying to balance that, make sure it's still plausible. And lastly, ability checks and skill checks did get differentiated. So ability checks are a d20 plus your ability modifier, and skill checks are your d20 plus your skill bonus. They are very explicitly different things because there's going to be jutsus and features that help those individually, that help ability checks and that help skill checks. They will no longer be considered in the same boat, which is important because previously you could really stack a lot of nonsensical things and get skill checks and ability checks that were just through the roof when they really shouldn't be. So again, just a little balancing and important to note for your future games that are using this new book. Whew! All right, we made the time, just barely. I'm going to sit back and chill for a sec because that was a lot of talking and a lot of going over stuff. He does mention in here that something that didn't make it was his jutsu customization changes. He wants to change the way you make a custom jutsu, but just couldn't quite find a system that worked well enough to replace it. It is important to note that this is the last update we're getting for a 6-month period. He said he's going to do small tweaks to things like the Kage books and stuff like that, just to, keep everything in line and make sure nothing's really weird, wacky, or altered. But we're not getting another big update for a while, and that's why this one is as huge as it is. So again, if you're going to use a new book for your game, I don't know if I would do it if you're running one right now, unless this new book doesn't alter your stuff too much. But if you have any of those 4 classes that are getting heavily changed, I probably wouldn't switch to this new book just because it's really going to change the gameplay from what your players and stuff have been used to the whole time. But, it's all up to you and your table at the end of the day. But nonetheless, I appreciate all you guys for sticking through it. I hope you enjoyed this. I tried to get a fast one out, and I know not everyone can sit there and watch a half-hour video of me diving in depth on every single class change or something like that. And don't worry, those videos are coming. But I wanted a fast one just for those of you that, hey, what changed? How did it change? Let me know the shorts, and I got you. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Drop a comment if you have any questions. Subscribe if you can. It means the world. We are growing so fast. You guys are so good. And I'm going to see you guys on the next one. Peace out.